This episode of Real Garbage is brought to you by Breakfast for Dinner, because I am a grown adult man who's single and can make his own decisions. So, yeah.
This episode is also brought to you by beef jerky, a classic thing.
This is Real Garbage. Is it,
Made in Sydney.
It's not Jack, like Jack Links is...
Island jerky.
No, not Jack Links. What's the one that comes in like the...
The red package?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Jack Links.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, just a smaller version.
Mm-hmm.
It's like eating boot leather.
Yeah.
Did you know that you can actually eat, if you have leather shoes and you're in like a starvation situation, you can eat your shoes.
How do you know that?
I can't remember where I saw it or read it. But it was, yeah, you can eat leather. Like you can literally eat your boot. I don't know. Maybe I saw it. I know there's like a one part of Simpsons
It makes
where they, like,
sense.
take a chunk of the boot and the rat tail and they put it in hot dogs. So I don't think that's real though.
That
But
makes sense.
yeah.
It's dried animal hide.
Yeah. So just if you're ever lost in the wilderness and the only thing you have to eat is your boots, you can eat them.
If only I could afford leather boots.
Leather boots, leather boots, leather boots, leather boots,
Leather
leather
boots,
boots,
leather-
boots and cats and boots and cats. You ever seen that video? Like the boots and cats, boots, cats, boots and cats and boots and it just turns into like a whole thing. Maybe I'll tuck it into this episode here.
Yeah.
Right there. Weird week. This is cool. I like this. Canada Day landing tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We are recording on Tuesday. Everybody knows we pre-record these.
Yeah. We're not.
Live, actually. How
Yeah,
you
just
doing,
kidding.
Chris? What's up, Tyler? Like,
That would be cool.
don't just freak someone. Imagine they're really high, and all of a sudden you're like, "Hey, what's going on there, Brent?" And they're like, "What the?
They're like,
Is he talking to me?" Ah! That was weird. Yeah, like a great weekend. I went camping.
Did you?
I went to Sombrio Beach on Saturday.
Oh.
So did the rest of the island. Apparently, it
Yeah.
was. Ugh. I haven't been there since last summer. I took my sister and mom, and when we went there was maybe, I don't know, 40 other people on the beach.
40?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I went. Was that a lot?
COVID who?
No, I went out there on Saturday by myself. You get half a kilometer from the parking lot, and all of a sudden it's like cars parked on the side of the road, both sides, walls of cars, people walking down the middle. It was like a music festival.
Holy crap.
So I drove. I managed to thankfully nobody was coming the other way. So I made it to the parking lot and I found a space and I walked down to the beach. I was like, man, there's a lot of people.
Wow.
It was overwhelming. I was like, fuck, I don't know if I want to camp with this many people. And I walked down to the water and I was kind of looking around thinking like, all right, it's just me. I got a small tent. I could find a spot. I had to walk 2 kilometers down the beach. I went and got my stuff, hiked almost down to the waterfall and just tucked in between 2 other groups of people. And it was awesome. I literally sat in my chair. I ended up hacking up this tree that I was camped by, cut up enough firewood for like a 4-hour fire, and just had some, I got a Mickey of whiskey. I had some drinks and smoked joints and just stared at the fucking ocean for like 7 hours. It was just did nothing.
Peaceful.
It was so peaceful. Except for there's a couple loud people here and there, but for the most part, the water drowned them out. Then I came back on Sunday and it was like, all right, cool. And then the 2-day work week and then day off tomorrow. Some beers.
Yeah. Some jerky. Do you want to try it? It's actually really good.
I actually do, yeah, please. Jerky.
It's not super greasy. Ooh. It's not hard. It has a nice smoky palate.
Where's it from?
It's made in Sydney. It's local as fuck.
Made on the island.
Made on the island. Island jerky. Yeah.
There's beef jerky too?
Yeah.
Have you ever had, what's the weirdest kind of jerky you've ever had?
I've had deer jerky.
I had horse jerky once.
What? Oh my God.
We used to train, we would halter break heavy horses like Clydesdales in the winter back home. And this guy, I guess one of his horses went lame, not with us, but just on his farm somewhere, it went lame. So he shipped it off to Belgium to the glue factory. And they turned it into jerky. And they sent it back. And I woke up, they had just given us a bag as a gift. So I wake up in the morning at my parents' house one day and I'm like, oh, look, a big bag of jerky on the counter. So I just start eating it. I'm like, oh, it tastes just delicious. I'm just laying on the couch, just eating jerky. And my dad comes downstairs. He's like, it's good, eh? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you want to know what kind it is? I'm like, sure. He goes, it's horse. And I kind of like mid-bite, I'm like, huh. That's pretty good. Just tastes like beef. It's just the weirdest experience, but I'm like, it's lean, it's healthy.
Wow.
You know,
Horse meat's healthy?
They're grain fed.
That's
grain
true.
fed, hay fed. Like
Yeah.
they're not, and they're exercise lots. Like they're not unhealthy. It's not like they're eating fucking, bacon. Well, bacon's good for you. Like they're eating chips and Big Macs.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Imagine a horse is just like, give me a Big Mac. I don't want the hay. He's eating fries, drinking Coke.
Drinking a chocolate shake.
1,500 pounds. Like 14 hands high. That's how they measure it.
And horse jerky tastes like beef.
Yeah. It's the weird. I guess it's just however you flavor it. It was really good. I think I was 16 years old. And I was just like, fucking horse is delicious. Because there was one story years ago about some European A&W that was caught serving horse burgers. Yeah, someone, I don't know how they figured it out. They're like, oh, maybe they saw the trailer in the back and like, leading out Black Beauty and like, what's going on in the back of Wendy's for her? A&W.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
and like I heard that. I'm like, man, you should be thankful. This shit's fucking good for you. It's way better than the shit beef you probably get most of the time.
Honestly. I remember that's one thing I miss about like acreage life in Alberta was the like home cooked deer jerky.
Yeah.
Salted and peppered to perfection. Fuck. The best jerky I've ever had.
Well, you usually had some family member who would go moose hunting or elk hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So every once in a while, you're like, there'd be some mystery meat in the freezer. And like, what is this? And Dad'd be like, it's moose. We're going to put it in a slow cooker.
You're like, nope.
I used to just, no, it was great. It was amazing. I wish. Or say dope, but they said nope.
No, I said dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally misheard you. Like, why would you say no? It's delicious. And I remember that's why I used to love, I think that's why I love slow cookers now. I'm going to get a hamburger soup going tomorrow.
Yum.
Just coming home after school, and as soon as you walk in the door, you get hit in the face with that flavor, and you're like, oh my God, what is that? And I just remember moose being just, you could like put your finger on a piece of the moose and it would just go, and just fall apart. Like it was so tender. God, I want slow-cooked moose right now. They're like, stop chewing in our ears. Yeah, whatever. Eat it.
Our viewers are probably like, yeah, they're prairie kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, my parents just asked me if I wanted to buy the farm.
oh, wow.
It's like 21 or 22 acres in Brandon, Manitoba.
Holy shit.
It's got an indoor and outdoor riding arena, a barn attached to the indoor arena with like, I don't know, it's like 100 feet long and 30 feet wide. Sure, why not? Let's chew in their ears again.
That's good.
Sorry, my friends.
Yeah. It's just hella good, yo. You can have that if you want.
Well, okay. But then the house is like a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom. Wait, 1, 2.
Is it like a rancher house?
No, it's a 4-level split.
Right.
Unfinished basement, rec room, living room with a kitchen, big deck, and then upstairs 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, an office. Wait, no. Well, 2 bedrooms. Technically 3 bedrooms. One's an office now. But I'm like, how much? $750. I'm like, what? No. That's it. There you go. You can go buy a 20-acre place if you want in Manitoba.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want to spend that kind of money. I want to spend like $250. Well, Brentwood, there's 2 condos for sale across the street. 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1,000 square feet, $350.
Okay.
Yeah. Another one in the same building, $370. I'm really sorry, people.
It's just so good.
Just let me chew it and swallow it. But and then up the street, there's a Brentwood Place. There's a place for sale on there too. 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 900 some odd square feet for like $380, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I know you're looking.
I
Or
am.
you're thinking.
Brandon and I went and looked at our first house this weekend.
Ooh, where?
A new development across from North Saanich Middle School. It was the one I was telling you about for 759. The photos.
Oh, but it's not built though, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's not built. It's finished in September.
So you're just looking at the open lot, or is it like half
No,
built?
they have a show home of each one built already to show people. And we went and looked at our favorite one, and the photos online do not do it justice. It was so beautiful.
Was it like 2,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2.5 bathroom?
Yeah, 2.5 bath with a loft.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Uh-huh.
Where's North Santa School?
So if you're driving
There we go.
if you're driving down Rest Haven from Sydney and you just follow Rest Haven to the very end of it,
So
you'll
it's
come
at
to
like the north end of Sydney, kind
Yeah.
of? Okay. Is that, can you like kind of go by that school and duck out onto the highway near there? Okay, yeah, I got a pretty good idea where it is.
But yeah, it was beautiful. The only downfall is that the upstairs has more square footage than the downstairs. Well, just space-wise. Like the downstairs has an attached garage.
Cool.
So the square footage is like equal, but as for livable space, upstairs is bigger. And the downstairs area had a kitchen with an extended island for extra seating and a dining room area that led onto like a really big patio yard area. But the living room wasn't set up
So it was just staged strangely.
Yes. Well, like, so they thought of cable management for TVs, so that when you move in, you like have them set up your TV and the designated space is above the fireplace, and all the wiring goes into the walling, which is fine.
Yeah.
But the way the living room was set up, it's like if this place were smaller, if the fireplace was right on that wall with the TV above it, where I'm sitting right here is where the kitchen island is. So there's a wall here and wall there on either side, and there's a couch there and chairs there. So you're sitting at an awkward angle looking at the
watch sideways.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So that's one thing that Brandon and I discovered is like deal breaker for us.
Yeah.
More so for Bran than for me. I was saying like we can get a sectional and just put it against the wall, and but you know,
it's the whole idea of the TV over the fireplace that is just it's shitty because that my buddy Colin's place over in Langford, I was living there before I moved here. It was the same thing, and he only had like a 50-inch TV or something, and you're sitting like where you are right now to the wall.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good distance. Like my TV's a 58-inch and I'm like, I could go for something bigger. And I don't like the fact that you have to attach it to a wall because his stud finder wasn't working. We put so many holes in the wall. But luckily the TV covered it up. But it sucked because you'd be sitting so far away. I'm like, oh, I don't have to wear my glasses when I'm watching TV. Like it drove me nuts. And just the fact that you can't go, fuck that fireplace. I want to move the TV over there. Like I've rearranged this living room like 3 times since I've been here. Because after a while you're like, ugh, I need something different. I gotta look at the TV from a different angle. I want to look at that wall for a while.
Yeah. But oh my God, the upstairs, the master bedroom.
They're taking away the term master bedroom.
What?
Have you heard about this?
No.
I just read this headline today in the States. I believe it was Texas. Texas real estate agents are getting rid of the term master bedroom when they're showing houses because they're like at
slavery connotations.
Yes, that's a thing. And it was like, will Canadian real estate agents follow suit? I'm like, what? But like, no. If I'm going to spend $700,000 on a house, I'm the fucking master of my domain.
Yeah.
That is my master bedroom.
Yeah.
I am not saying this in a racist way. That is if I work my ass off for my own place, I'm the fucking master of my house. Until I get married. And then it's like, no, okay, it's your room. You can be the master for a while, I guess. It's so crazy how people are like, I have Nazi paraphernalia in my kitchen cupboard, apparently. Aunt Jemima syrup.
Oh.
What the fuck? Like this, it's wild. Remember, like, so you see like the memes coming up, like Cracker Jack's changed his name to Caucasian Jack.
Oh my God.
I love how I just love how the extreme of the human condition go. Like we're just like, oh yeah, we're fine with this. Then as soon as one person's like, I'm fucking offended by this. Like I'm not taking away from the whole like black people being murdered. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the extent of the being offended, you know, by other things while this is going on. Two people are like, well, you know what? While we're at it, I'm offended by this. I'm offended by that. And I'm offended by this. It's like, holy shit! Like
people,
it didn't bug you a week ago. Like
people,
what the hell?
People just like trying to take away from the actual movement.
Well, I mean, things like they're going, they're pulling, like they pulled cops off the air after 37 seasons or something like that. And then they're pulling other cop shows off the air. I'm like, oh yeah, they're glorifying fucking shitty, like badass cops. But I'm like, I wish people had the sense to go, hey, the way Mel Gibson acts in Lethal Weapon isn't the way I should be a cop if I want to be a cop. Like, that's not what it is. People can't disassociate those two things. They're like that. We have to go to that extreme where it's like, you know what? We need to take this fucking shit off the air. This is cops being pieces of shit, and it's going to encourage other you should be teaching people that don't let it encourage that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
Fuck, like that's the whole thing. Is like we just need to start at the root and teach people to be fucking decent and be decent to each other. So then people learn from that example instead of just being pieces of shit all the time. And everybody go, well, you know, you're gonna be a piece of shit. I'm gonna be a piece of shit too. And just ricochets like that.
Yeah.
And, man, I'm really worried about tomorrow in the States. Well, we celebrate Canada Day. They're like gonna get evicted. Like there's John Oliver had a fucking crazy story where on Sunday where it was all about evictions because the whole time COVID's had people locked up. They haven't been working. The landlords have still had the ability to go to the courts and file all the paperwork necessary to evict these tenants.
What?
So they didn't put a moratorium on rent payment on rent payments. They just put a moratorium on eviction. So it's like you can't get evicted while you're at home with COVID. But we're not saying you don't have to pay rent. Like you still got to pay rent. So sorry guys, here's $1,200, and that's all you're gonna get. And oh, by the way, in July 1st, you'll probably get evicted. So there's going to be like a massive, unless Trump stands up and goes like, hold on, ain't going to let that happen. These are our people.
Doubtful.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So it's fucking freaky.
Oh my God, that's so shitty.
Is there's going to be so many empty fucking apartments. Like the good thing is if you buy a new place, at least you know it's not going to be haunted.
That's what I said to Brandon. Oh my God. I was like, if we buy a new development, something that's just being built, we are guaranteed nobody died in here. Unless some construction worker named Kyle died on the job, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey," waking up in the middle of the night, punching holes in the drywall, and you're like, "God damn it, Kyle, stop it!" Yeah, ghost ship, eh? Mm-hmm. Okay, before we get into this, well, I just want to talk about haunting because, like, a place gets haunted because of the person that died in it has unfinished business. Like, that's what I'm led to understand about ghosts. Either that or, like, they died violently and are, like, stuck there or choosing to stay there.
Well, okay. So there's a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
I always thought it'd be interesting, like say you move into your parents die or like you move into their house and it's like, oh man, they're haunting it, but it's like they're not scaring you, they're just haunted because they have unfinished business. Like your dad didn't fucking fix the drywall in the basement, or he never changed the sump pump out in the you know. It's like you're waking up in the middle of the night, like what the covered in this fine dust, and there's like sandpaper laying on the floor, the holes patched. I just thought that would be kind of weird. They like until they get released from purgatory, they still have a regular job, a regular day. They have to sleep. They wake up in the morning. They're like, "Fuck, I'm still dead. God damn it!" They have to go to their ghost jobs, drive their like just.
It sounds like Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, but fuck. Basically, yeah, it was Beetlejuice. Never mind though. I'm just making up some other story that I've heard somewhere else.
This plot line is so original.
Well, the ghost ship one was kind of. I guess it was 2001, so.
It was designed to be if Titanic and The Shining had a baby.
Ugh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ugh. This one was. So you said this was the first horror movie you ever saw? Because I guess you would have been like 7 when this came out, eh?
Yeah, I remember I watched it on AMC's Friday Frightmare on Friday night.
Well, I felt like it was geared towards people between the age of 7 and 15 because it was it was a rating like PG-13.
No, it was rated R.
Was it?
It was like fucking fuck this, fuck that, gore.
Yeah, right. Okay, like the gore was. I felt like, I don't know, okay, do you want to break down what this movie's about? Tell everybody.
So, Ghost Ship is about this Italian cruise liner that went missing. No, thank you. An Italian cruise liner that went missing, and these salvagers find it and start fixing it up. And they meet a bunch of ghosts on the ship.
They also find a whole bunch of gold.
Yeah.
Like
300 million.
that's what he figures. So he's like, well, I don't know, maybe.
Maybe 200, 300 million. I would shit myself if someone said, hey, we just found 200 million. Hell, I would shit myself if someone came to me and was like, we just found like $2 million. I'd be like,
if someone found $100 under my bed, I'd be like, fuck yeah, woo.
Yeah.
Give me that. It's my money. Mm-hmm. But so the movie starts with a little flashback to 1962. There's some sort of performance going on. It's like a ball.
Yeah, so I looked it up, and apparently on like luxury cruise liners back in the day, that was called a captain's ball, and it happened toward the very end of the journey when you were gonna dock the next day or in the next 2 days.
I wonder if they still have those now.
I don't know.
I just imagine because like a lot of the people that go on cruise ships are big, you hear, so they're just like maybe just a bunch of people on scooters driving around the dance floor.
Oh my God.
Snacking at the buffet. Yeah. So all we see is a hand flip a switch from, I didn't see what the bottom said, but the top said Massimo, which means the greatest. I looked up I was like, well, okay, so we're going from what? And they're like, put the speed on the greatest.
The greatest speed, mamma mia.
But it's like, what was it controlling? Because all we see is the hand go, and then this big gear starts spinning, and then a cable snaps.
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't even snap.
It tightens.
Yeah.
Yeah. That made me terrified of like going near thick wires when I was a kid. Although in doing my usual like trivia, I found out that Mythbusters tried this and revealed that it wouldn't happen. Like that can't cut you in half. But you bet your bottom dollar, as a 7-year-old, I was like, nope. No wires for me. No.
It's the first thing I thought was this. There's no way you could. Okay, maybe one person.
Yeah.
Maybe one person, but not a whole ballroom
Deck of
floor.
people.
Yeah. And like it just missed, so it hit, and the height of it was really weird. Some people got cut at the waist. The captain got cut in the forehead
because he was like leaning over. Because when the camera like shows him and Katie, that's the little girl's character, his arms were around her, and he kind of like went down like that to like shield her.
I missed that. That's the opening. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, right?
To present day, and we get introduced to the all 90s television cast. All these people are from like late 90s, early 2000s TV.
Yeah.
Except for Gabriel Byrne. Gabriel Byrne's like the one big name.
Yeah.
But like Isaiah Washington was, I'm pretty sure, like
Grey's Anatomy.
Was it Grey's Anatomy? I was thinking ER. Margulies was ER.
Was
right?
ER.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there was
there was Carl Urban from Lord of the Rings,
he was
Star Trek.
Also in The Boys. Have you seen The Boys yet?
No.
It's great. That was the shitty superhero movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then who else? There was Joe from, like, he was Merriman. Oh no,
Ferryman.
Ferryman. Merriman. Ferryman was from Dexter. He was Detective Joe. He was in 72 episodes of that show. So it's like this whole fucking cast is just made up of like, all right, everybody, you've been doing TV for years. It's time to step up to the plate and see if you can knock one out of the park. They did not.
No. And so I found out that Juliana Margulies like disowns this movie, and I was like, what the fuck? Why? And I looked into it. Because if you're disowning a movie, like it's not just because like it's bad or it didn't do well. So she disowned it because when she got the original script, it was completely different from this. It was a non-gore, non-bloody psychological thriller horror where it was 4 people, 4 crew members on a ship, and they're salvaging it or whatever, and they find the gold on the ship, and then the 4 of them get sucked in by greed and like turn on each other in order to get this gold. And it was very like psychological and smart. So when Juliana Margulies and the other 3 people signed on, they were like, hell yeah. And then this was filmed this is so wild. This was filmed in 3 different places. The internal ship stuff was filmed on the Queen Mary in California, which is a haunted ghost ship. And then the outer scenes and stuff, not inside the ship, some of them were filmed in Queensland, Australia, and the other filming location was Vancouver.
What?
BC, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so when Juliana Margulies was like, when I got off the plane in Australia and I got the new script and I saw it was this, my heart sank, but we were locked in contractually, so none of us could leave the project.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
Oh, that would suck. Because I would have much rather watched a psychological thriller on a ship based around the finding of money and the dividing of said money.
Yeah.
Because that's a story it's been done, but it's been done well.
Yeah.
And this could have been done really well.
And it's like, it's more realistic because it's playing on these human emotions of like greed and friendship and betrayal and
like this just seemed hacky.
Yeah.
It seemed really like a high school, like a film school student made it.
And you know what's interesting? The guy who directed this also directed 13 Ghosts.
It makes sense because some of the shooting, some of the cinematography was very similar.
Yeah.
And it was just, there were cheap scares. Cheap scares.
A lot of like jump scares.
Yeah, not even a lot. Like I felt like the first 47 to 50 minutes of this movie was just a slow burn. Like this is what's going on.
Yeah.
This is what we're planning on doing. And now let's execute.
And then they were like, oh shit, we only have an hour and a half. Wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up.
It is, the end, the last 30 minutes just felt like wham, 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 wham. I'm like, okay, cool, right on. It was not... I checked the remaining time a couple times on this one, maybe 3 times, so it wasn't like a constant. But
I will say the effects were good though. Like when the people did get cut in half,
they weren't terrible.
Like the practical effects were good.
The green screen with Buddy in the reenactment of like the Francesca scene there.
Oh, that was horrible.
It was like you could see him like moving around. I'm like, just make him stand still. Just don't let him move.
Yeah,
It'll
like
look
him
better.
looking around, pretending to like look at shit and be scared was so bad.
But the writing in this, like, what did Gabriel? So if just Juliana Margulies is disowning it, but Gabriel Byrne's like, I'll stand by it, because his opening dialogue in this scene. So we're introduced to the salvage team, and they're going down to like, we got 5 minutes to check out this sinking ship. If we can't, we got to cut her loose, and we got to get out of here. Every ship is a her in this, and they make sure they're like, do not refer to the ship without calling it a her or she. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I should have counted because it was a lot.
It was.
But Juliana Margulies is like, all right, I'm gonna go check it out. And she goes, oh, there's a hole in the hull, and he's like, well, cut her loose. We don't have time. And she's like, no, I'm going for it. Like, cuts herself loose. Puts a patch on it, and the other 2 are like, shit. But so they're basically going to like Rambo style, like, we got 5 minutes, let's do this.
Yeah.
And they weld it up, and it's like, okay, we're good to go. I'm like, well, that seems like something you could have done.
Yeah, why were you?
It would have been protocol. Like, okay, we know you can do it in 5 minutes, so you have 10 minutes. Just give her. Let's save this fucking thing. But like, he's like, hey, get out of there. You want me to come down there and kick your ass? I'm like, what is this?
I will. Like, yeah.
This is the opening 10 minutes of a movie that's got to grab the viewer, and you're getting dialogue like this. I'm like, oh my God, you sound like a principal. Like, I
know.
I will come down there and kick your ass, or you bad.
You want detention?
Ugh. But yeah, so that's like, we're the best ragtag fucking bunch of salvagers this side of the South Sea. Carl Urban looks young and greasy in this.
I know.
Like, his character is greasy.
Yeah, he's so cute, though.
He's an attractive gentleman. His hair was bad, though.
Yeah.
They just needed to... He should have just shaved his head or washed it.
Yeah, just a simple wash would do.
It was nasty. So they get approached by this young gentleman, Ferryman.
Jack Ferryman.
Are they calling him Ferryman or Ferryman?
Ferryman, because in the very beginning, once Murphy being...
Gabriel Byrne.
Yes.
The captain.
Yes.
The skipper.
Once they agree to it, he says, okay, Ferryman. And his last name, Ferryman, is a play on ferryman.
Yeah.
For like delivering souls to.
Yeah, that was like when we meet the little girl and she's like, "Oh my God, he's collecting his soul, blah blah blah." And once he gets enough, I'm like, "Oh, that man."
You're like, oh,
like
like a
wow.
ferryman?
The ferryman. Pay your gold, and that's what the gold signifies the payment for the
For the souls.
the souls. Don't eat your souls.
Yeah.
So they get approached by this guy, and he's like, "Listen, I got this. There's this ship, and whatever's on it. Listen, we can,
ours.
yeah. Like, and why? Like, he says, like, there's 5 other groups of people here. I approached you first. It's like, well, why are these guys so? They were important for a reason, weren't they? Well, I can't remember.
Don't act like, these people are the exact same type of salvagers as the other 5 groups in the bar, because if so, you would have gone to one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I feel like, okay, at one point I was like, man, I think salvaging would be kind of a neat job. It'd be kind of cool.
mm-hmm.
And then once you start getting out into the open ocean and trying to pull out boats that are in water, it's like, nah, this doesn't seem that cool. Seems pretty shitty, actually.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause like, you might approach a ghost ship, which would be creepy.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah, well, sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's
there's
true.
nothing on that boat.
High risk, low reward, or
Yeah,
no reward.
High risk, then you get killed. Or you drown.
Yeah.
They had to go into an engine room at one point, and it was underwater. It's like, well, we're going to have to go underwater and get that. I'm like, no, I'm out. I'll take the dinghy. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of
Honestly.
here. Ugh. So they agree to his term. Well, they eventually get like 10%. They're like, 10% is what you get.
Yeah.
And you got to stay on the boat. So they're going out to where they think this boat is, and it's weird because like the captain, well, not the captain, because the engine room guy, he was kind of driving. Yeah, Santos is like rocking out to Mudvayne. This song played. I was like, oh my God, I know this song from when I was a teenager or like in my just hitting like 20. It was a band called Mudvayne, and it was Not Falling was the name of the song. And I just, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my God, that's 2001 right there. And they're like, he's looking at his radar. He's like, oh shit, I see a ship-shaped blob on the radar. And he's like, Captain, you better get up here and check this out. So the captain sees it. Like the thing scans past it, and it's like, yep, that's a ship-shaped smudge on the lens. And then it goes around later. He's like, oh, I don't see it anymore. He's like, like I don't think it's there. I'm like, well, you guys both just saw it, so why don't you just bank on it being there and slow the hell down? Because they're cruising.
Yeah, they're ripping it.
Yeah, because the next thing, like they're trying to they just crash into it. Or they crash into it first? Oh, they crash into it after. Oh yeah, because he's radioing. He's like, this is the Arctic Warrior.
Arctic Warrior.
This is the Arctic Warrior. Wait, do you come in? And then they all of a sudden it's like, oh shit.
It's there.
Yeah, and they just smash into it. I just don't understand that. I'm like, why wouldn't you just slow down? Like, just if you think there's something there, just err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
And just take it easy.
Also, when this ship sank, or not sank, when this ship went missing, it was having its captain's ball, which means the journey is about to come to an end. But when they were talking about it, Murphy was like, this ship.
Oh, he just gives them the whole story right then with no prompting.
Yeah, and he was like, this ship was last seen on its course in Labrador, which to me, because...
Oh, they're in the Bering Strait too, right? They're in the Bering Sea?
Yeah.
Which is way the hell up north.
Yeah.
And really cold.
And they were supposed to be going to like New York, because later on when Juliana Margulies is talking to the ghost girl, and she's looking at her locket, she's like, oh, those are my parents. They moved to New York. I was on my way to join them. Well, New York, like, yes, it's in the same area. Like, it's on the East Coast where Labrador is, but New York's way, 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 way down. If the ship disappeared when they were in Labrador, that wouldn't be toward the end of their journey. Like,
well, like at Labrador, Newfoundland and Labrador, I guess it all depends on whereabouts. If they're on like the northern part of Labrador, they probably got a good couple of days of sailing.
yeah.
It's all perception, right? Like how long is their trip? Was their trip 10 months long? They could be almost there if it's 5 days away.
Also, I love how they were sailing like roughly the same North America route as the Titanic.
Well, it was also May, wasn't it? May 19th?
Yeah.
May 19th in northern Canada, because Labrador is northern Canada.
Yeah.
It's not warm.
No.
It's not ballroom dress weather.
Nope.
So that doesn't make sense. And neither does when they go to check this ship out. Because like I said, it's the Bering Strait. It's the Bering, like they're in the Bering Strait, which is on the other side of North America. It's past Alaska. So at one point, like Gabriel Byrne's like, oh, this ship drifted from here to here and blah, blah, blah with no crew. I'm like, so well, you're not telling us where it ended up.
Yeah.
Your whole, like, he just went on these long-winded stories about this. I'm like, oh man, if I'm not, like, I was really paying attention to it. And I'm like, God, I don't want to miss a word. Because he's just like, oh man, we crashed into a ship. He's like, this ship was floating in 1962 and it was created by blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like, dude, nobody asked you.
Yeah. Like, okay, encyclopedia, shut the fuck up.
No, so the weather bugged me. But I don't know what happened next.
They get on the ship and they're looking around, and they all get.
It's not moving at all.
No,
like, it's not.
It's
moving
not bobbing with the water. It's just stoic.
That was one thing I noticed. I'm like, why aren't they moving?
Yeah.
At all.
And they get on the ship and they separate and go look around. And Jack is with Juliana Margulies, Epps. And then Munder and
Epps?
Dodge. Epps is Juliana Margulies' character.
Oh. What do they call her? Epps?
That's her last name.
Oh. Maureen Epps?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then...
Because that's one thing I noticed. I didn't catch any of the names, or the names were like...
They were hard. Jack Ferryman is the bad guy. Mm-hmm. And then Maureen Epps is Juliana Margulies. Murphy is the captain. And then Dodge is the blonde guy. And
look like Borat.
Yeah, and
Greer's Isaiah Washington.
Yeah, and Munder is
who was Munder?
Amir.
Which one was
Carl Urban.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch his name until he went diving.
Yeah.
Because like, where's Munder? I'm like, who the hell
fuck?
Who's Munder?
And then Santos is the guy.
The mechanic / engine guy.
So my thing with this, when they're all on the ship, and we know that something happened because we keep seeing this ghost girl, and we know people died on this ship.
Oh yeah, they show bullet holes in the pool.
Yeah. So where are all the bodies? Because
that was my next note. Where are the bodies?
I looked it up, and I looked up, like, how long does it take a body to completely decay, blah, blah, blah. In 50 years, your tissues will have liquefied and disappeared, leaving mummified skin and tendons. And in 80 years, the collagen in your bones start to break down and your bones start going away. Well, this was 40 years later. Mm-hmm. So you'd be finding mummified bodies.
It would stink.
Yep.
So I kept thinking it would stink. Like, even if there were just skeletal remains left, which there wouldn't be, because like you said, there'd be liquid skin, there'd be flies and maggots, and and that was another thing, because like later on, there's like an illusion over two of the characters where they're like, oh, they're eating beans, it's actually maggots, and I'm like, well, is that what's happening to all of them when they walk in there? Are they actually walking through a sea of bodies and they just...
Don't know.
Yeah. Because there's one point where they open a room and it's full of water and bodies.
And that was from... Because when they were exploring, they found a digital watch. And one guy was like, oh, cool. And then the other guy was like, no. In the 60s, they didn't have this technology. And then that's when Murphy was like, okay, someone was here before us. And those were what the bodies were that Juliana Margulies and Jack found.
I didn't really catch that. I missed that line in the watch scenes. I saw the watch scene, but I was like, what's the significance of that? I was watching it on my laptop, so it was over by the TV. So I was like, I feel like getting up and switching it back. Katie will know.
Yeah. And then, so Juliana Margulies and Jack end up finding the bodies in the laundry room. And she keeps seeing, like, this ghost girl. And then...
because they see her. She sees her when Carl Urban falls through the floor, the first point, and then there's like the pool scene. Why does she freak out so much?
I know.
She's seen the kid once before. She just looks like a regular little girl. Yeah. It's not like her face is melted off or she's scary at all. Margulies is climbing up the ladder, and all of a sudden she sees the little girl. She's like, ah! She lets go.
Yeah, like, wouldn't you just be like, hey, are you okay?
hi, little girl. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, like my mind wouldn't immediately go to she's a ghost. My mind would be like, you've been trapped on this ship. How have you survived? Are you okay?
Well, that's not how you greet most people when you see them
Yeah.
randomly. You might go, you'll start a little bit, but you're not going to just let go of whatever you're holding.
Yeah. And then Munder and Dodge play this horrible practical joke.
Oh, yeah.
And like scare the shit out of Epps and Jack after they just found like the bodies. And I'm like, it was so dumb, but also realistic based on the archetypes of those two people, like the characters. I'm like, they would do something stupid and childish like that. However, like, why?
I feel like
that's cheap.
people that are going to take on the job of going to sea and salvaging wrecks, I would picture people that aren't so childish.
Yes.
I feel like they're hardened, seasoned, veteran salvagers.
Popeye.
Yeah, they're not like, oh man, let's go play some practical jokes with some people.
Yeah.
They're like, no, the sea will take you if you're being too foolish. Like that's what I. So they just seem like unrealistic teammates on this salvage team.
Yeah. And then
they needed some sort of community. That was another thing too. Like I wonder if their parts, like was Carl Urban expecting to play some like debonair character, and all of a sudden he's like, you're gonna be the goofball because we changed the script on you and you're in contract, so fuck you. Like, did they do that to everybody? Like, I'd love to see the original screenplay of this film. Yeah. And not this, whatever this turned into.
Trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you said, if it was a suspense sort of like that means to me, a suspense, like psychological thriller like that means like you're getting into your character. You're getting like, you're doing work on your character. This just seemed like you're going to be the guy who is a piece of shit. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
You're going to be the guy that goofs off, doesn't take anything seriously. Yeah. Okay.
It's like, all right, just be me then. Fine.
So then after they all rejoin, they find the gold. Gold. And they decide.
Well, the two find it, and then they're like, "We better go find them." I'm like, "What? Take a bar or two with you, because this place is already a little weird. Yeah, you never know if you're gonna find this gold again. Yeah, this is right before they got freaked out. I was like, just take a bar with you. Like,
just for proof.
They're a couple pounds. They're not that heavy.
Yeah, and then they make this plan to harvest the gold, bring it back onto the Arctic Warrior, and that because was international.
48 minutes into this movie.
Yeah, so like we're more than halfway into this movie now. And it's still been a slow burn, and nothing's happened.
Yeah, because they've got the gold onto their boat.
They were trying to.
Yeah, and then this is when the little girl's like, "No, wait!" And of course, she's British.
Yep.
Of course, she's British. They should have believed her.
And all of a sudden, you see the like handle on the propane tank turning. And, like, I've smelled propane before, and I've smelled gas. It's immediate. You smell it, and you're like, there's something. But
plus, that wasn't enough to fill that whole room.
No.
It was only turned on for, like, 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So, at best, it would have been like, it maybe would have sparked at some point and been, maybe burned them or scared them.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have blown up that entire engine room.
No, and blown up the whole ship.
That explosion was out of control.
Yeah.
I thought like, damn, that was a good, holy shit, because then the whole boat explodes. Yeah. You're like, what just happened? What blew up? Like, were there more propane tanks?
Yeah, so then Santos dies. And then they get back onto the old, like, cruise ship. And Juliana Margulies' character goes through the ship logs and says, like, the ship logs just say Katie Hardwood, room, whatever, traveling solo. Like, it doesn't say anything about, like, child traveling solo, redheaded British child in a blue dress. This is her. So, like, what's making Katie. Her think, I found you? Like, what the fuck? She can't be the only person traveling alone on that ship.
Well, was she even traveling? I thought she was with that old dude.
No. That was the captain.
Oh, okay.
She was traveling alone to meet with
How
her
did
parents.
Okay, how does a little girl get on a ship alone?
I know.
Man, there were different times in the 60s.
Yeah.
You're fine. Just go outside and make your own way home.
But yeah, like how did she, discover this random name in a book and decide, yep, that's you? Like, it's such stupid, like, lazy writing.
It's very lazy writing. Because that's just like, we just assume, okay, she just knew.
Yeah.
Wait, how?
Like,
How
she
does
didn't
know?
say her name.
And then she just goes to her room and starts just rooting around in her shit.
And then I noticed that her, like, letter toy from the beginning, when she spelled out, "I'm so bored" to the crew member, and then when they boarded the ship, it was there and it started turning on its own saying "Welcome aboard." It went from being at the starting point of wherever they boarded the ship to back in her room. But like later on in the scene when Juliana Margulies goes to give her back the locket, it goes through her hand. So like that just proves that ghosts can't grab onto things. And how the fuck did she grab her toy and bring it back to her room?
Yeah.
Like,
wait, and hold on. Who tackled the little girl?
Jack did.
Which one was Jack again?
Ferryman.
Oh.
Yeah.
But how did he tackle a ghost? Sorry, did you just say this?
No, but he tackles her because Jack isn't like a human being. He's like a spirit / demon. Because he gets like he's
I guess he gets shot and fucking
and blown up and
fine.
Yeah,
I'll accept it then. Because they didn't make it known that it was him that or did
no, they didn't.
You just see somebody just spear her hard, and she's like, "Wait, don't do it!" Bam, just gets taken out, and I'm like, "Who the hell was that?"
And then she opens the closet, and there's Katie's body.
So Katie hung herself? She was the only one left alive?
she was hung by those guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it was just such a weird like. So the ferryman was just luring people in with his gold?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Murphy's upset that he lost Santos, so he's in the captain's quarters about to break his sobriety and have a drink. And then the captain of the ghost ship appears, starts speaking Italian to him, and is like, "Oh,
yeah, I didn't have subtitles.
Buenos Aires, blah blah blah."
I played that scene 3 times. Was like, I don't know what he's saying.
Honestly, I watched it with subtitles, and there was no Italian to English translation. It was
good.
The subtitles were literally in Italian.
Okay, good. I didn't miss anything.
But then he goes from speaking Italian to Murphy, which makes sense because this is an Italian cruise liner coming from Europe. But then he switches to English when Murphy's like, "Yeah, I found the gold." And he was like, "Yes, we picked up. We got the gold from the Lorelei." And then he shows Murphy a photo of the one survivor on the Lorelei ship. And we find out later that it's Jack.
That's right.
So Murphy sees this and goes to run and tell everyone. But then the ghost of Santos.
Oh, and Santos is so angry at Murphy.
Yeah.
Which seems misplaced because it wasn't Murphy that killed him.
Yeah.
Murphy wasn't responsible for killing him at all.
No.
Santos is a grown man. He made a decision to go on this salvage mission. What are you mad at him for? It was a ghost that killed you.
Did you notice that Santos's hand was marked?
Oh, no, I did not.
So his soul was claimed by ferryman.
Oh, that's what the mark means.
Yeah.
I see.
And apparently, like in doing research, Jack can only claim the souls of like sinners. Greer's eventual downfall, like his sin is lust, going after Francesca.
Oh, okay. Ooh, Francesca.
Yeah,
wow.
she was hot.
Some nice titties.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love how he's just like, no, you're not real. When he's drinking.
Yeah,
he's
I think we're coming up with that part here. Fuck a ghost.
He's engaged. He's like looking at a picture of his fiance going, "I'm sorry, baby, I fucked up. I'll come back to you soon." And this dead ghost is like,
and then he dead ass is like, "You can't cheat on your fiance with a dead girl, right?"
So
like,
I know you're not real, so I'm just gonna go with it. Like,
and
damn.
he's like, she takes off her dress, and you see her nice boobies, and Greer is just like, okay, and like starts taking off his pants, and I'm like, you're dead ass about to be like, yeah, let's fuck a ghost.
Oh, he was going to fuck that ghost.
Yeah.
But then he just fell right
Through an
her.
elevator shaft.
Which just seemed the way it was like.
The way he fell, he was like, yeah.
Like they're implying that he's drunk because he had a bottle of champagne in his hands at the piano, and like you're not gonna get drunk, hammered off a bottle of champagne, maybe unless you're like 12. But he went to grab her, then was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you missed her once. Then that's when you would have went, oh shit, put your hand on the wall, and went, hold on, tried again, maybe again, then went, oh, it's not real. Better get out of here.
No, like he threw himself.
Well, and then right after he falls, they do like a cheap. This is where you could tell it was the 13 Ghosts director, because she's like, and she says something in Italian.
Yeah.
Like, watch the door or something. Something about la puerta.
Yeah.
And she turns around and she's like, like a creepy, decaying body.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the bodies before, so. Are there like a handful of decomposing bodies just walking around there being controlled by ghosts? Like, there's no explanation of it at all.
No, like why did she flash all old? Because she died when she was that age, so she wouldn't be this old decrepit lady.
Yeah, and it's like you have ghosts and then you have the decaying body of the people that died.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to be focused on? What's your scary thing in this? Is it the ghosts or is it that? If it's that, then make it that. But if it's the ghosts, then don't bother giving us the decaying whatever the fuck this is. Because it's unnecessary.
And then
it's an hour and 6 minutes in now.
Yeah, and then they put Murphy in a fish tank.
Oh yeah, because he's losing it.
Yeah.
He's coming unraveled. Why did they put him in a fish tank?
To keep him secure so he couldn't get out and try and kill him.
Tie his hands up and handcuff him to something.
No, put him in a fish tank.
Yeah, put him in something that he can't breathe in.
Yeah.
Doesn't need air. Oh, then they're like, we got to fix this boat. It's our only fucking thing. And then they're like, all right, let's fix the boat. So a boat fixing montage. And earlier I wrote down, why did they bring C4? Oh, just in case they had to blow something up underwater that was jammed.
Yeah.
Like that's... I don't know if that's a regular part of the salvage job description. Like, oh, you got to use explosives. Because I think they would just use like a cutting torch, like an underwater cutting torch or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? But they had to blow something up on the boat. And then, oh yeah, I love how they find, she's like, I'm going to go look for Greer. Because they still haven't found Greer yet.
Yeah.
He managed to get impaled by 4 separate rods.
And then the photo of his fiance is conveniently like placed in front of him, like, and then well,
this is where the kid time travels
like
another dimension or something.
That's what I said. I was like, so ghosts can like time travel / show you the past.
She time travels her back to the 60s and shows
what happened that night.
Basically, hey, here's Ferryman.
Yeah,
and that's
everyone.
When I'm like, oh, the Ferryman story. Oh, that's what this is. God.
And like, so apparently once he, like, this is what my findings revealed. Once Jack was rescued from the Lorelei and the gold was brought on board, he convinced crew members of that ship to kill all of the passengers and other crew members to get a stake in the gold. So that's why they did that. But yeah, they like poisoned people with rat poison, shot them in the pool.
And that was pretty intense.
Were slitting people's throats, hanging a little girl in her closet, like. And then Francesca rolls up when they finally get the gold, and just with like a look, she like convinces the lead guy to shoot all of his accomplices. So it's just her and him. And then he turns around and he's like, "Yeah, baby," and she just shoots him in the fucking head. Right then and there. And then all of a sudden we see a figure and she turns around and like throws the gun and they come and are making out and she's like, yeah, I did it. And then he steps away from her and undoes this hook and it like grabs her in the fucking jaw neck.
What if it missed?
Yeah.
Like what if it missed?
Like
this is so elaborate. Like, all right, you're standing, hold on, babe. Just take a little step to your left and click.
Yeah.
Hook to the jaw.
And she's like,
it swings a bunch, too.
Yeah.
Like, just that over elaborate. That's like a Saw thing.
Yeah.
Like, all right, just stand right there, and there we go.
And then that's when he turns around and we all, the audience and the characters, realize it's Jack.
It's Jack, the ferryman. So Margulies goes back to the helm, and that's where I keep calling him Blondie, but what was his name?
Dodge.
Dodge is there, and she's like, wait, it's Jack. You guys just stay in the same room here for just ever till I come back. Yeah. I gotta go find somebody.
Munder.
Yeah, Munder, because Munder is like swimming underwater. And how did he all of a sudden, Munda down under, how did he all of a sudden just get sucked into a giant gear?
I know.
Like, all of a sudden something comes on, and he's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and his like foot gets caught in it.
Like, it was just random. Like, it was almost like it's, oh man, we got an hour 15. How are we going to kill Munder?
Yeah.
Let's just say something in the boat started up and crushed him.
Yeah.
Done. Make it happen. So Munder dies. And then we flash back to Dodge and Jack. And Jack's like, I'm going to go check on what's-her-face. And he's like, no, just stay right here. And then Jack's like, you're a pathetic piece of shit.
Yeah.
You better just kill me so you sin so I can take your soul. And he just fucking blasts him in the chest. And this is where we find out that Jack is also a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Because he just assumes the identity of Dodge in the next scene.
Uh-huh.
Which, I just wrote down, he can shapeshift now?
Yeah.
And he has a tantrum and throws everything into the water. Conveniently throws a harpoon gun into the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then decides to choke Julianne Margulies after he shapeshifts from Dodge. Because what does she ask him?
Oh, she was like, hey, Dodge, why haven't you asked me where Munder is?
Oh, that's right.
Because they're like best friends.
And then he just starts laughing.
Yeah.
Rather than go, I don't know why.
Yeah, like he's like, you caught me.
Yeah. She's like, oh, shit. She said the magic word, Munder. He turns back into Jack and you're like, why?
Yeah.
I really want to see the original movie of this.
And then the fact that Jack's talking about the souls he needs, and he's like, this will make management really happy. Management won't be happy. Like, management, fucking
the
devil is management.
Do you want, okay, I came up with this idea for a show, for a YouTube series years ago about a devil. But he was just one devil of many devils, and he worked in hell in an office building, in a cubicle, and he was supposed to, his job is to harvest souls. And he works with other devils, so it's like a 9 to 5. Like, hey, how you doing, Jim? Oh, I'm good, Tom. You got a lot of souls this week? Nah, I'm a little slow. And they go to Earth, and they just meet people, and then they eventually help kill them and take their souls. It was a ridiculously kind of like The Office style devil reaping souls sort of idea. But so talking about management, I'm like, yeah, like there's a boss in hell. But I love the hip shot of the harpoon gun. She shoots the harpoon gun from the hip and hits the trigger of the C4.
Yep. Exploder.
Like, come on.
And then like Jack gets blown into a million pieces, and he's like, ah!
Yeah, how did she survive, didn't she?
Yeah.
How'd she survive? She just managed to jump in the water, and the water protected her from the giant C4 explosion?
No, she shot the harpoon off and then like ducked underwater when it exploded, and then the ghost of Katie was like directing her where to swim.
Then all the ghosts are free, like the end of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you, Liu Kang, you freed us.
And then she's like floating on this trunk of stuff.
In the Bering Strait.
Yep.
Like,
I was like, how is she not frozen and dead? Because Rose in Titanic was freezing to death, and that wasn't the Bering Strait. That was just the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
And
think about the Pacific here.
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time you jumped in the ocean? I couldn't stay in there for half an hour.
No. Well, she was in there for days because it was dark and then it was light, and she was just floating. And I was like, how is she not dead from hypothermia? A shark.
Drowning.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to cling to that thing in sub-zero water.
Yeah.
And then cue Mudvayne at the end.
Yeah, and then she gets rescued by this cruise liner and watches from an ambulance bay crew members loading up gold onto the ship because he lost all his souls. And Jack just like glaring at her, and she's like, no.
And then I stay out.
And that was Ghost Ship.
That was Ghost Ship. I rated this 2 sets of ghost titties out of 10 ghost asses.
Nice.
Because to me, the shooting and editing was like, I said it earlier, it was like hacky. It was like, like a film. It was like a film student project kind of thing. The writing was weak, and it's interesting hearing that the story was changed before everybody got on set.
Yep.
That's messed up. I really want to do some digging and find out
the original script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very nice that we didn't have bagpipes as the background soundtrack to our entire episode. Good God. Editing that episode, all I could hear was bagpipes. I kept like stopping it going, what the fuck? Oh, yeah, it's on the recording.
Yeah.
And it's neat how bagpipes work. It's a bag you fill full of air, and then it makes a sound until it is empty.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I'm trying to make it a point to like follow up on these things that we say we're going to Google, and we never do. Like, I'm glad we Googled shooting a gun on an airplane and figured that out.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and then the writing was bad. The acting was boring.
Yeah.
Like there was one scene with Margulies.
No
zero stakes. Margulies and Jack were having a conversation in one scene. It was like, ugh, this is just painful. It was like, hey, how blah 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 blah. Oh, cool, right on, bye. Like, awesome. That's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I had to say about it. Ugh.
That's it.
Would you rate it?
I will rate this 2 40-year-old cans of food with maggots in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We forgot about that part. Well, I mentioned it, but we didn't talk about it. And it was funny because I had seen this before. So I remember saying I wasn't sure if I'd seen it before, but that scene, I was like, oh, those beans are maggots.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, so 2 beanie maggot cans of food out of 10. 10 fish tanks with Murphy in them.
Ooh, Murphy fish tanks.
Because, like, the effects, like the practical effects were good with regards to the gore. I did like how when Katie the ghost time traveled Juliana Margulies to show her what was happening, I liked how, like, fast-paced it was and, like, the music that it was set to, and I did like that part, but I agree with you on, like, everything else. It was just hacky, cheap, lazy, and, like, honestly, you could tell that the actors weren't giving it their all, and then, like, finding out that the movie they signed on for was basically gone, and they were contractually obligated to film it. Like, I would have no energy, too. I'd be like...
Yeah, just phone it in.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened. I wonder if it was just some sort of, like, the director got fired, or maybe someone else came in and was like, listen, we're not going to let you live out your creative dreams, so make this. And they're like, he's like, fuck you. And like, if you don't, we'll kill your children. He's like, God damn it,
like,
fine,
okay,
I'll make your garbage
but...
film. Okay. So Rosa Graham has expressed she wants to come on the show.
Yes.
So we're going to draw one of these anyway.
Okay.
And this will be next week if we don't record with her before the next episode. And if we do, this will be the one after. Okay. So this is a pick out of my jar, and the movie is...
What?
Huh?
This is like cut off.
Uh-oh.
In the Name of the King?
That's not cut off at all. That's In the Name of the King with Jason Statham.
Oh, my God.
I started to... So there's a whole bunch of these, actually.
Ooh.
So Jason Statham, it's like a medieval... I started watching it one day. I was like, nope, got to stop. Because they've got horrible ratings.
Ooh, okay.
Jason Statham as like a medieval warrior, and I don't know what the story is. That's all I know is it's Jason Statham set in the medieval times. And it's apparently really bad. And there's a whole bunch of them. And I think he's only in like 1 or 2 of them.
In the Name of the King.
In the Name of the King!
Interesting. When did they come out? I'm looking it up
like
right now.
2010?
I've
After
never heard
2010,
of it.
I think. I don't know. I saw it pop up on Netflix. I was like, yep, need to make fun of that.
Oh, there's one in... The first one looks like 2007.
Oh, there you go.
It's PG.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ew.
wow.
You know what? I just watched...
A Man Named Farmer.
What? Is that like the 3rd one or something?
No.
Oh, that's his name?
It's the synopsis. A man named Farmer sets out to rescue his kidnapped wife and avenge the death of his son. 2 acts committed by the Krugs, a race of animal warriors
Sound like boots?
who are controlled by the evil Galleon.
Put on your Krugs.
Put on your Krugs.
It's cold outside.
Jason Statham is Farmer.
Farmer. Oh my goodness. What have I gotten us into?
John Rhys Davies is in it.
It's John Rhys Davies.
Gimli.
Gimli.
And Matthew Lillard is in it. What the hell is
there,
this cast?
Okay, there we go.
And Ray Liotta and Ron Perlman.
Tampax, Karen. Tampax. Why did you do that, Karen? Oh, Ray Liotta. Karen.
I love Ray Liotta.
All right, yeah. So, in the name of the king.
In the name of the king.
Next episode, unless Rosa comes on, then
Yeah.
it's the week after that. But you guys will figure it out.
Yeah.
You'll see what happens. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and
All
wherever
things.
you listen to podcasts, and rate us if you like us. And, like I say, if you don't, fuck you. I don't care. We don't care.
We don't care.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This is Real Garbage.